So welcome. Thank you so much for coming. You can see by the smile on my face that this is a fun thing that we get to do. I want to say hi to my colleague Mike Alden, who's in the back, who's been on the Appalachian Trail, and he looks so stress-free. He looks fantastic. Thanks for coming, Mike. So we're here today to make a very special announcement that the Chancellor will do shortly, but I just wanted to set this up by saying one of the things that works so well with campaigns, with fundraising in general, is when you have the opportunity to have leverage and public-private partnerships. And I think today is kind of the quintessential example of that, which will be described here shortly. But I also want to say, in times of some challenges that we had earlier in the year and some things that we've been dealing with on the national forefront, it's been really gratifying, and Hank and I talked a little bit about this on a recent trip to California, that when you're in the midst of some of those struggles, to have private support, people stepping forward to support the institution is an incredible boost, incredible shot in the arm. And last week, we had two incredible gifts that we announced, one, both from Bill and Nancy Thompson and the Thompson Foundation, a $3 million gift to support our Center for Regenerative Orthopedics, and additionally a $4.7 million challenge grant to support our Thompson Center for Autism. Just a couple of the examples of what I've described here. So today we're here to talk about another one, and what we're going to do is Chancellor Foley will make the announcement, then Catherine Schwall will also be speaking on behalf of the College of Education and talk a little bit about the impact on the college, and then Christy Terry, who's the Associate Director of eMints National Center and Project Director, will also be responding as well. So with no further ado, please join me in welcoming Chancellor Hank Foley.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Tom. It's great to be here today. It's an exciting day for Mizzou and for the College of Education, and it's all about quality teaching. In fact, somebody just told me what eMints stood for, and that's quality teaching, but I'm not going to try to break it down for you. As the former Senior Vice Chancellor for Research for MU and System Executive Vice President, anytime we get federal grants of this magnitude, it's really important and exciting for us. They affirm the value of our work, and they allow us to continue to do it at a much higher level. And as Tom said, this is a great example of public and private partnerships of a kind that we'd like to do even more of as we go forward into the future. So it gives me great pleasure to announce a grant of $12 million. $12 million. And that's directly from the U.S. Department of Education, and allow us to expand eMints. It's called Investing in Innovation. It's an I-3 grant that's set up to support digital teaching. It'll be done in 3 different states: Alabama, Arkansas, and Utah. And specifically, the grant will build on over a decade of research showing the positive impact of the program on student achievement and teaching practices. And the project will serve 56 schools in high-needs districts in those 3 states of Alabama, Arkansas, and Utah. And it'll involve over 450 teachers and 24,000 students over 5 years. That's just an incredible effort, and we're very, very proud of all of you who are involved in it. Thank you. So part of what's exciting about this also is that it's collaborative. If you were here last week, you heard Jim Stannard, the head of our Department of Orthopedic Surgery, talk about having skin in the game with donors, and that makes us all better. We have many other projects on campus that fall in this category, such as the Applied Learning Center at the Trulaske College of Business and the Laffery expansion in engineering, both of which are also public and private partnerships. Now, one condition for this incredible $12 million eMints grant is that we were required to secure private support, in this case $1.2 million or 10%. And I'm really very proud to announce that through the good work of these people and through many of you who are in the audience here, and Catherine will have a bit more to say about that, I'm very proud to announce that we've already raised $3,581,952. That's cash and in-kind support from KC Audiovisual, Dropbox Incorporated, Smart Technologies, the Google Foundation, and the International Society for Technology and Education. I want to personally thank all of you for those matches very, very much. This means we've secured triple what was required, and that's no small feat, and we'll put that money to very good use, I assure you. So we're very proud, and we think that this highlights the power of the project, the importance of the project, that we have that kind of support. And here to tell you more about that and the effect of this exciting work is our brilliant new Dean of Education, Catherine Cheval. I mean it. I almost said engineering.
Oh, yeah, that would have been, Thank you, Chancellor Foley. I'm glad you mean that. So $12 million out of the $19 million that's come in grants and contracts this year for the College of Education. So to Lori and to Christy and their team, thank you. This really is quite amazing for the work that you're doing. We're very proud of the success and the impact of the eMints program and the dedication of the eMints team. This is the second time that eMints has earned a U.S. I3 grant, and it's the third I3 award for the College of Education. There's no institution in the United States that's been awarded 3 I3 grants, and we're very proud of that. The other award was Troy Sadler and his team's work with the Mission Hydroscience, with the RESEM Institute, and so all of these projects, high-impact projects. The eMints Center has certified more than 325 district trainers across 10 states and Australia, so it's having an international impact. They've also trained 2,500 teachers that are now certified in the eMints program. So just demonstrating the impact that they're having at scale. And as I meet with international guests from many different countries, the number one request that I get is, can we visit classrooms that will show us effective use of technology? And so if we think about how technology is evolving so quickly, and we have to think about curriculum changes, we have to think about the hardware, the software that's needed, but we also have to think about how do we equip teachers to use it effectively. And we know that across the globe there are classrooms where there hasn't been the equipment, there hasn't been the curriculum, there hasn't been the preparation. And so it's not a surprise that people are looking for the expertise on how to do this well. So during one of these recent visits with several educators from Asia, we took them to eMints classrooms. And as I watched them interact with the teachers, with the administrators, they were blown away by what eMints had to offer with the curriculum, the professional development for teachers, and the technology that exists in these classrooms. I, in fact, did a research study in 3 eMints classrooms. I don't know if I've ever shared this with Lori or Christy, where children wore video cameras on their heads. And I filmed math lessons in those eMints classrooms for 3 years, and I worked with those teachers so that they could see the classroom from the child's perspective. So each week they would watch those videos and was quite amazed at what those children had the access to learn. Last fall, we were meeting with congressional staffers about whether the federal government should continue to fund the I3 program. And you know, they really were questioning whether that was something that was on the chopping block in the fall semester. And so it wasn't surprised that they wanted to meet with eMints, because it was one of the initial awardees that program offered. And it was one of the first I3 awards to conduct randomized controlled trials. And the results of that trial found significant positive outcomes for teachers and for students, meeting the federal What Works clearinghouse standards, which is incredibly rare if you look at their website. So although these results are quite convincing of the impact of eMints and the investment that it should have, in meeting with the staffers, the eMints team was brilliant and brought an eMints teacher with them. And that teacher, quote, said, "I've been a teacher for more than 20 years. Nothing in my career has impacted my teaching and the success of my students more than the eMints program." And needless to say, her authentic testimony about the impact of eMints was quite convincing. They left that meeting, and the I3 program was not cut this year in the federal funding, so we're very proud of that teacher. Recently, I've been talking with faculty and professional staff in the College of Education about grand challenges in education, problems that can be solved in 10 to 20 years with research, resources, vision, and dedication. And equipping every classroom and every teacher in the U.S. to effectively use technology to enhance student learning is one of those grand challenges that we've not achieved yet, especially as technology is evolving so rapidly. So I'm honored to celebrate that this grant and the work with the public schools and our private partners is going to help us move closer to accomplishing that grand challenge. We know we cannot do it alone, and it's the endorsement and the gifts of our tremendous partners that are essential. So I specifically want to recognize the key players today. Alan Landover with Kansas City Audiovisual, and I'd like to honor you and thank you very much for being here today. So thank you, appreciate that. And Chris Watson from Smart Technologies is also here with us today, thank you. So thank you for your dedication to making sure that we have the technology, the software, the computers, the cloud storage, and the partners to do this work. And we also ask that you thank Jerry Bernard for us, as he couldn't be here. So our partner list so far includes Dropbox, Smart Technologies, CDW Government, Miravia, PeerEd, Swivel, the Google Foundation, and the International Society for Technology and Education. So if there are any other partners in the room that want to join this awesome work, just come on up afterwards. So all these partners provide everything from computers and software to consulting services and represent over $3 million in this work. So this is a tremendous gift, indicating your belief that we can accomplish the work that we've proposed to do, and we're very grateful to that. The eMints National Center is important to all of us in the College of Education because it's a research-based program that's going to impact the lives of many teachers and many students. Christy Terry, Associate Director, and Lori Kaplan, the Executive Director, we're so pleased to celebrate this public announcement with you today in this private-public partnership. And here to speak more about eMints is Christy Terry. Thank you.
A little shorter than everybody else. Almost 20 years ago, leaders at MU, the Missouri Department of Higher Education, and the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education had a hunch that technology was going to play an important role in shaping the future of education. They were right. Those leaders believed if we were going to understand and document technology use in the classroom, we needed to be systematic, work collaboratively with teachers, partner with technology innovators, and make sure our work was informed by the latest research. By 2002, we were starting our fourth group of teachers and we're in 63 Missouri school districts. In 2010, we won a $12 million U.S. Department of Education Investing in Innovations I3 grant to study the impact of the eMints program. We focused on high-needs rural Missouri schools, and we got results. We applied for the original I3 grant, which was the first innovative competition to require private sector support. In the months leading up to the award, we were lucky that we found partners who believed in what we were doing for teachers, for students, and for educational technology. Some of those partners, such as Smart Technologies and KCAV, are with us today as we announce our second I3 Investing in Innovations grant. Some of those partners, because eMints works. KCAV is making it possible to bring one-to-one technology to the classroom. They believe in our program and brought partners such as Dropbox so we can collaborate with teachers and students across the 3 states. How does eMints work? Education isn't simple. eMints works because we focus on the learning process and the decisions that teachers need to make every day for their students. Here's an example. A teacher is helping students understand area. I learned it from a textbook and a chalkboard, multiply height times width, and that equals area. My teacher had a worksheet on her desk with 20 questions for me to work and an answer sheet. But we aren't preparing kids for a world with answer sheets. So an eMints teacher challenges her students. She asks them to propose a plan to repaint walls and replace worn flooring in their school. Every student has a computer. Teams are assigned rooms. They need to measure, calculate area, determine the amount of flooring and paint, and work within a budget, all while taking into consideration how the space will be used. They use drawing software to determine measurements and create a model. They research materials, options, prices, and reviews online. They create a proposal and a budget, all while receiving real-time, on-screen support from their teacher. This is how we use math in the real world, and this is how we use technology to solve real-world problems. When we started working on this grand challenge almost 20 years ago, we knew it was important new territory with great potential. Now, as technology has become ubiquitous, it is even more important that we ensure that it is used in ways that make a difference for students. I thank the partners who started this journey with us in 2010, and those that have joined us for the first time with this new grant. I thank the visionary companies who are committed to supporting educational innovation. I thank the University of Missouri and the College of Education for giving us a home where our vision and mission has been nurtured and supported. And I thank the U.S. Department of Education, who encouraged the development of the partnerships that have become such an important part of our program. And finally, I want to thank everyone who has contributed to making the eMints program what it is today, the powerful tool for improving student learning and impacting outcomes for teachers and schools. Thank you.
We'll stay around for any questions and some photographs, but I'll just interject something really quickly, and also one more acknowledgement. When Christy was describing that, it reminded me when I was at the University of Maryland working with the Dean of College of Engineering, and we went to GE and talked to them about a gemstone project with the premise that, essentially in higher education, there aren't engineering problems, there aren't business problems, there's a multiple of issues associated with any particular area that companies and individuals work on. And we were talking about bringing that to higher education, and GE funded that grant at Maryland to bring engineering students, business students, public policy students together to work on projects. And it's nice to think about the fact that that's now looking in the schools at the K-12 area and ways, and innovative ways people are learning. So thanks for sharing that story. And the last acknowledgement is also colleagues of mine who I think Lori acknowledged to me earlier, Gina Schultes, Severin Roberts, Monica Collins, Sherry Wilson all helped the team here in putting together ideas on looking for the matches, et cetera. So I want to thank them for their help in pulling that together. And we have a major proposal that we're working on with a very significant foundation that has expressed interest, so we'll continue working together on this. So again, one more time for acknowledging our corporate sponsors and for this incredible work by our College of Education and others. Thank you very much.